and hard-fought victories are what make From Software games the epics that they are. Today I tell you the story of my clash with the Sword Saint Ishin. This story takes place over 3 streams and 18 hours. This story's first chapter can be called naive. Through my many triumphs in my first playthrough of Sekiro gave a false sense of ease while entering that hollowed silver grass field where we hesitated for our first time. Genichiro stood in this field once again with a mortal blade of his own. I readied my blade for what I thought would be a moderate challenge. Genichiro was as swift and as agile as the first time we clashed, but after a few attempts, he fell to my sword. Where the word naive comes into play for me is when the Sword Saint is revived by Genichiro's sacrifice. I stood toe-to-toe with the embodiment of swordplay. Ishin ended my thoughts of a moderate challenge with 2 attacks that cut through air and sound. Ishin and I, Death, began a clash of battles that would have given us passage to Valhalla 100 times over. After crossing swords with Ishin for the first time, I knew this battle would test every fiber of my being. For me to triumph over these 2 foes, I thought just learning the parries would grant me the path to victory. But to defeat the greatest swordsman in history, defense was never going to be enough. I would spend 9 hours learning that very lesson. The same phrase, hesitation is defeat, would be burned into my memories just like it was for many of you. What I call the second chapter is mastering Genichiro. Genichiro was no small challenge, but I had to make his phase as effortless as breathing. As the hours passed, Genichiro became no more than a warm-up for the true challenge, except for that goddamn combo attack that he flies through the air like a Naruto character. God, I hate that shit! Damn it! As I cut down Genichiro again and again, my confidence grew and grew. Mastering the grandson was the fuel to the burning desire inside of me to usurp the Sword Saint. Chapter 3 we will call Dancing with the Sword Saint. With Genichiro now just a prologue to the real battle, Ishin and I would begin flowing together like dance partners from 2 different ages. Saying Ishin's first phase was a challenge was an understatement. With lightning-fast attacks and narrow margins for error, I felt hopeless at times. But when I deflected his unsheath for the first time, I felt in my soul this was no god of a swordsman, but a man just like me, and every man can be cut down. As we danced, I began to welcome Ishin's attack, either Imonji Double or the Wind Spiral. The Saint no longer put fear in my heart. But when the sword was no longer enough, Ishin pulled the halberd and matchlock pistol of my peril, and phase 2 had begun. Chapter 4 is called the Gat Saint. The Gat Saint Ishin would prove to be the hardest of all the phases. It forced me to step into a level of concentration and humility I rarely have had to. I had pretty much mastered the other 2 phases, but this one was such a polar opposite to Ishin's first phase. This phase called for aggression and swift tactical decisions, because any signs of weakness or even a single misstep brought that run to ruin. This phase didn't have many attacks locked within it, but Ishin would almost never use the same combos in the same order in this phase. Ishin and I would battle out over 150 times because of this phase alone. I would make it to the 3rd phase occasionally, but with little reps, it was more of a glimpse of the finish line than crossing it. Towards the end of the 3rd stream, battling against Ishin, I started to see every move of the first 2 phases, like I wrote the code for them myself. I consistently cut down the first phase with ease and would win a war of attrition with the second. I could feel the end of these epic clashes coming soon. Chapter 5, You Can't Cheat Death. Over 400 deaths into this playthrough and over 200 alone to Ishin. I thought I couldn't be flustered any longer, but when Ishin had just a sliver of health left in his final phase and I choked, not once, but twice. In those moments after, I felt I wasn't destined to achieve this immortality, but I am death, and nothing escapes me. I am inevitable. Ishin would become my latest highlight and nothing more. I will leave you with my final run against the Sword Saint. I hope you all enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed making it.
Get away from me. Get away from me. Fuck! Let's go for that time. Yes! Let's go! Let's fucking go! We got him! Fuck you, Sword Saint! Fuck you! Yes! Yes! Cut that fucking head off!